Hey guys, it's Painting with Adriana. I hope everyone's had an amazing summer. I just wanted to get a video going about 25 things I've learned by turning 25 years old. So, one of the first things on my list is just to make imperfect things. You can fix it, make it perfect, work on it again, but just get it out there. Number two is if it matters enough, we will perfect it. You're going to want to go back and try on this thing that you're invested in. It's just natural. So, if you just start on something, then you'll know where you can keep working and the things that you want to work on. Number three, know when to ask for help because that has been one of my biggest challenges is that there's a strength in calling someone and saying, I need help. I can't do this by myself. And in nursing, that is important. Number four, early bird gets the worm. And that is so disgusting, but it's so true. Number five is break down tasks over days. So work on it a little bit every day and you can get it done and it won't feel like such a chore because you're really invested in each part of it. Another big thing, number six, is to write everything down, whether it's an idea, an assignment, a task, a goal, a food option that you really like. Just write it down. You won't think about it again, and that's your brain telling you, like, this is important. Number seven, the longer you don't move, you won't move. So that's a big thing I learned in my first semester of nursing school with mobility. But just as long as you're active, like stay active, walk, go do hobbies, go exercise. Number eight, friends feed your soul. I don't know how I'm still standing in this nursing program. It is simply just because I have great cohort friends. Number 9 and 10 go together. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. So, in order to not go insane, let's try different ways to get to the goals that we want, right? So, if we have an exam grade that we're not happy with, we can't keep studying the same way. And for number 10, work through solutions by planning ahead. So, this is something I had learned in band when we would be with our instruments and we weren't allowed to actually play before concert or before a competition. We would run through the music in our head. We could play along with the keys on our hands without making the sound. So, it's the same concept when you're going and you're right outside of a patient room. Just think about the things you have to do really quick. When you're about to take a test, run through the concepts that we have to know really quick. When you're about to, be presented with some information about a patient, we're going to be expected to do a procedure. Run through some risks in your head. It takes 2 seconds to think. It might not be the healthiest, but I'd be playing life chess, and I recommend it. But, anyways, number 11. Comparison is the thief of joy. All you have to do is be yourself and understand that your world and your perspective is just you, and you have to absorb that beauty, and you have to find, like, life and fun activities in that. There's always going to be a better volleyball player here. There's always going to be someone who did their IV better than I did. There's always going to be someone with a better exam grade than I had made, someone who finishes out with a better class course grade. But you can't compare. You have to compare yourself to the person at the beginning of your journey because that's the person that you're trying to make proud. Number 12, there will always be opportunities for career, for money, for getting contracts, for investments, but time will never return again. The people around you and the conversations and just the way that the weather is that day, it'll never be the same. So you have to soak it in every moment so that you can really enjoy life to the fullest. Number 13 is a little nursey, so just make sure your fluids, your electrolytes, your vitamins and minerals, and your supplements are taken care of. Making sure that you're having the right protein, the right amount of water, the right amount of sodium, potassium, and all of these stupid little vitamins that we need to survive. Number 14, be cringy. Apply yourself 100% because when you throw on a mask and you pretend to be somebody else, you're going to attract people who want to see that mask and they want to see that somebody else. So if you're unique and you're your 100% yourself, then you're going to attract people who want to see that unique side and who appreciate that. I have insecurities, but none of my friends have pointed that out. They're not seeing that, they're seeing me and they're loving me for who I am and all of my imperfections on top of the things that they love about me. you're more likely to find your community and your tribe when you're doing things with your full honest effort and you're being yourself and you're authentic. Number 15, if you're rejected, all you have to do is reevaluate, reroute yourself, and recommit to something else or to that again. I got rejected to medical school back in 2021, and I had to reevaluate if that's what I wanted to do. In healthcare, it wasn't my route at the moment. I had to reroute to family and taking care of people who were sick in my life, and I had to recommit to healthcare at a better time when it was suitable for me in my life. And I am so glad I applied to this nursing program. I applied in 2023, and right now we're in 2025. I finished my prereqs in 2024, but just this reroute, a door closed and a whole house opened. It wasn't even a window, it wasn't even a door. In these higher education programs, you see more people who are older in their journey. So we have people in our cohort who are in their 40s and who are mothers. And we also have other programs like dentistry, physical therapy, occupational therapy, and so many other paths and professions where there will be people who had to reroute in their life. This isn't their first path, and that's just honorable because that means they had the courage to go and try something again and start brand new with little skill set. And I think that is more important than someone who comes in and they're young and they're fresh and they're new, because someone who had to reevaluate and recommit, that just means that they want it 10 times more. Number 16. In a lot of these higher professional schools, you see bigger cohorts. There's 100 people in my nursing school, so you won't get everyone to like you, but when you find the people who do like you gotta keep them because they're good people. Number 17, assess your own boundaries and don't let people tell you where your boundaries should be. If you can create your own boundaries on your own by yourself in your own time and your own space, stand by that. Number 18, presents for loved ones can be food, they can be free, they could be handmade, and they can come in just simply your space and your time. For me personally, a present that I like to create for my friends when birthdays come along, Christmas, holidays, is I make them a self-portrait. And I love to draw my friends, my family, because I know they're gonna age, so their faces aren't gonna look like that forever. And I think that's beautiful with art. It's like a time capsule of you. And so every single friend, family member I have recently, I've been getting better at giving them a portrait of themselves for their birthday present. And they love it. So I'm just gonna keep doing that. And it's free. So if you find something like a hobby or something that you can make, that's perfect. Number 19, and everyone says this, it's America. Start a business. But I started an art business with people who just wanted little things drawn on some poster sized paper, and then it turned into literally making 3 feet sized canvases of paintings and putting them into galleries and making stickers and selling that. So just having a business, I literally spent $1 on sticker samples, and I got 10 stickers, and I turned $1 into $40 by charging the stickers $4 each. But my biggest hack with a business is just to keep the money that you make on the business and invest it back into itself. So every single dollar I've ever made on my art, I've used back to buy more canvases, to buy better paint, to buy glitter paint, to buy specific things that customers are asking for, or to get bigger sized brushes, or just keep upgrading with the money that you're making. I don't try to use that money towards other things unless I'm a starving artist for the week. But overall, having a side business as well as your main career hustle is great. I plan to continue doing art after I'm a nurse on the side on my off days. I want to keep making paintings. I want to make a website. I want to become a big artist. So I have a goal with that, and I'm not going to give it up. But I do recommend starting a business if you can create a product, anything. I have friends who make lipsticks. I have friends who make jewelry. I have friends who make clothing, knitting. So there's so many routes and where you can start on top of having, your 9 to 5 career job where you're getting your insurance covered. but having these hobbies also is a good like release of the soul. And I use art as a free form of express. So anytime I'm around Corpus, I love to draw like buildings like this, especially downtown. They have the American Bank Center and like the Harbor Bridge. So those are my favorite things to draw. And I feel like when you go and you start to create art off of the local area and historical landmarks, people are more attentive to that because they're like, oh my God, you're making the city beautiful. And I've gotten comments like that with my art. So that really touches me because I'm turning something that people see as mundane and I'm letting them see how I see it. And my world is so much more vibrant than some people's, and other people's worlds are much more vibrant than mine. But I do feel like art is a big, big part of my life. Number 20, choose your battles. So you want to be choosing things to fight for that you can use your energy on. If you feel like you don't need to be using your energy on a certain topic or conversation, you don't have to give into that. So choosing your battles doesn't mean giving up or letting someone else win. It's more so saving your energy and not getting your emotions in a riled up state. I guess I'm getting into like longer things that I learned, longer concepts. This next one, 21, is after a year at a job, I reassess. So I've never worked any job for more than a year except for when I was a substitute teacher because the leniency on the shifts, we only had to work 4 days a month. So I like to reassess my job every year. Where am I at? Where was I at to begin with? Do I enjoy the company? Do I enjoy the people and employees? How was the pay rate compared to my bills and my living situation? And I just try to find a job that meets all of those and maybe better, beats it. So better pay, better people, better area of the city, safety, places with security cameras. The first place I ever worked at was Little Caesars. And then after that, I went up to a better restaurant and I was a waitress at a better restaurant. And then I went to do like receptionary work at school and student worker jobs. That's all mandatory with that. And then I went on to do the medical assisting, scribing online, subbing as a substitute teacher, and now I'm moving on to my next career choice of nursing. Number 22, do it scared. It's okay to do it nervous. It's okay to do it full of anxiety and not wanting to do it the whole time. But if you can get over that hump, then you're perfectly fine. I remember I did like a firefighter academy for a summer when I was in high school, and they had us go out of a window and like down the outside of a building for 4 stories. There's a word for this. But I was so scared just to get over the edge. And I was like, I can't hang off the other side of this ledge like that. Off the side of the building, literally, hanging by like a ledge on my feet. I know I was tied up and I had like the security belt on and the harness and people were down there, but it was just a matter of getting over that ledge. And once I did that, it was fine. I could repel? I don't know the word for it, but you just have to do it scared. And once you get it done, it's not scary anymore. You can keep doing it. Number 23, grief allows you to recreate life. So in my grief of losing my dad, I had to figure out that that wasn't my entire life. That wasn't my day-to-day. I needed to branch out. I needed to go back to doing my hobbies. I couldn't just be depressed in my bed every day. So in order for me to recreate life, I had to reevaluate everything. And that's when I decided to go into nursing school. And that's when I decided to apply. And I'm pretty sure he called down and told me to do that because I wouldn't have done this without that experience. But we need life experiences like that to push us. So yes, there's a beauty in grief. There's a pain in it also. But when you see that life can keep building on itself and you're meeting new people and you're doing new things and you're seeing new cities and you're going and you're having experiences, life doesn't stop for anyone. And it won't even stop when I'm gone for all the people that I've ever met. So I feel like grief allows you to recreate life. There's something about it that's special to that. And we're just going to keep reimagining our lives every decade, every year. You just, as humans, it's in our nature to keep rerouting ourselves, and I think that we need to lean into that, especially with grief. Number 24, cherish your community, because these are people who choose to be here for you. This is footage from my birthday party, and these people drove from like San Antonio, Austin, Houston for the day just to have like this lunch with us. And I found that so special. Like, that was very touching to me because they took the time out of their day to come and drive all the way to Corpus Christi, Texas. And then they had to go back home or find places to stay. So, you have to cherish your community for it to cherish you back. Number 25, and this is my last one. This is what I learned this year. Stay educated and learn willingly, and you'll do amazing. Bye bye.